Hi guys, so good morning and welcome to a pre-recorded class, which is in which we are talking about history, and I think this is the last type of. As soon as we see the medieval towns, we'll be running into different topics. So yes, we are still into urban design, and we have seen very interesting things about how medieval towns now. I mean, the civilizations happened previously, and how these guys were handling it and stuff like that. So now we will take a look into how. Now I'll send you videos of how the medieval towns were explained in videos and how they looked and things like that in the classroom units thing. So what we need to look at today is something which we looked yesterday also. I think for the section A, I have taught this, but today I'm trying to balance both the classes because today same amount of input will go for both the A class and the B class. So tomorrow the B class will have a little bit of free session. We'll have like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, guys. That's it. And then after that Thursday, I think again we'll have one two classes are coming together. So there we'll have another detailed session like this. Okay. So yes, so we are talking about the medieval or the dirtiest, the smelliest, the decaying, the plague-driven kind of cities now. So they are looking very beautiful nowadays, but I really can't accept the fact that these cities were, stinking and it was all negative. They never looked it. They looked beautiful from a distance, but if you can go near them or walk inside a particular medieval town, you're going to either get infected by some plague or you're going to get your foot dirty, or you're going to stink. So it was like that. So these 4 points which are there in this particular slide, or the let me come to the pictures now. Now the pictures, if you see on the first picture on the left, you can see one building and then a radiating pattern. A wall is built, and then again another housing is there, and then after that another wall is built. Now that is one type. If you see in the middle, the grid type, which is all known to us, and we have a courtyard, and around that something is being formed, a city or a market or something like that. And after that, in the third picture shows the right hand side picture. It shows something of triangular shapes and fortified walls. There's mounds on top of it, and beautiful landscaping and trees, and there's water and the bridges connecting, and this is how the so-called architects or planners of the medieval ages were developing the urban design into very beautiful forms like this. So let me tell you, basically the medieval ages were formed by the Christianity which was existing there, where they formed different orders and sects of people, where they practiced different. There might be one medieval town which has a particular sect which will follow a particular order. The other town will have a different thing, like that it was going. Now the ideal city plan, the church was the main thing which was giving knowledge for these medieval towns. There were no schools yet. We're talking about church driven education. Okay. So if you see the ideal city plan, which was given by the Fra Gekonda person, it is, it is basically the church is the middle building, and then it is surrounded by the part of a citadel wall, which I think we can see in this picture. Yeah, you can see here, this is the yellow guy is the church in the middle, and then it is surrounded by this particular citadel wall, which is like two walls which we have. So basically, that is where the most of the medieval towns, or the people who are living, the residences in the markets and everything was happening. Okay, so the polygonal shape of a citadel was better suited for defensive purposes, is the third point, because the citadel was not a circular plan or a square plan. The citadel was polygonal, which I think we saw in the previous videos. So they thought that okay, the polygonal shape is going to be of very good safety to us and things like that. The last point, if you can see, many designers started realizing that the radiating pattern would lead to difficulties in the design of buildings, particularly with sharp corners. Now they were starting to think not only about the planning of this particular cities, but they were starting to think about how they are going to have sharp corners on the streets or curved corners on the streets, which they were getting adapted to, and they were telling, okay, let's change the design of what is existing now and what is existing this and that of the streets and of the plan. Now the second picture in the middle, if you can see, it's a grid pattern. Yeah. So we will go into so these are the different types of cities which were existing, the medieval towns. Now if we come here, there are five types of different plannings which we are going to see, which is basically starts with the unplanned town. The unplanned town were basically the very first uh, towns which were starting to emerge from a very barren land. If you can take if you can go to a very empty land, and then if you put a church in the middle, automatically there are people who are going to live for the religion around the church, which makes markets and which makes trade and which makes building houses and putting them into grids and sewers and ducts, and that's how it develops. So if you see in this picture, if you see the red part which I'm marking now, the red part is the Roman city which was existing very 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 old. We're talking about the 1, 2, 3, 4 century after that, AD, okay, or even BC. So we're talking about one to fifth century AD, and then we are entering the towns were unplanned, and they were like how I told you, right? These medieval cities were unplanned, and they were not really they were not really taking any kind of guidance from anything, or they did not have guidelines or accesses planned and stuff like that. Now these medieval towns were not even planned like how the old towns of the centuries had planned, because at least they had accesses which was running on the streets and things like that, but these people really, it was all clustered. Now if you see, the red one is the Roman city, okay, the old Roman city, and then the yellow extension is the 10th century extension of this particular city. So basically on the 10th century AD, the city extends. Because why do the city extend? Because it's because of the transportation, okay, and the transfer of goods in one bulk, okay, which made it very easy. The roads needed to be there, so city needed to extend. And then streets would probably be originated in the paths by which people approach. So basically here the streets were not planned by anybody. It was not planned by a urban planner. The streets were whatever path you take inside the city, which you inside the medieval city which you want to walk, or the town which you want to walk, that becomes a street. For example, if you're taking your dog out and your dog needs to go in a particular path, it's the street found by the dog. So that's how it was there. So if you can see in the last point, it says some roads would have been derived from the ways by which people walked or drove their animals to the surrounding fields. So agriculture was going on. Yeah. So then after that comes the blue part, the blue fencing line which I've marked, which creates the extension of the 11th century. Okay, the so if you can see, uh, the town is growing from the 11th century, and then again this is the last extension of the town, which we can see the fencing going all around. Okay, this dot 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 fencing, that is the extension in the later or the end of the 11th century, which is called as the 1180s, whereas they were entering into the 12th century. Okay, so this was how this was how basically everything was being planned on. And the extensions were really getting a little bit of the extensions were really getting far and extension further. So these kind of cities were starting to grow. Second one is a planned town. Planned town is nothing but planned town had a church or a market in the middle, which was nearest to a road which existed there. So if you can see here, a church near a road, here a town hall and a marketplace on the main road. And all these roads were all formed in rectangular grid pattern, and they were all having 90-degree turnings. So this is how a planned town came into existence, which was near the river. So this particular town was basically they were the towns were actually starting to come out very good for the very good for like um, um, agriculture, travel, trade, and there was a hostile environment which was inside the particular town, which made the town very impressive on planning. And these people were ready to bring in a lot of other people from other medieval towns and stuff like that. Sorry guys, I'm just closing the window. My house has got like I was telling, my house has got like so many temples around it. So basically, it's a alarm clock which starts by 5 and it goes until 6:30 or 7. So it's a usual thing which we are all adapted to. So yeah, the planned town had something like that. The planned town was a town which was it had its own restrictions and it had its own rules. Now the planned towns had walls and gates around them. They definitely had it, and the churches and the marketplaces were the most important of these particular towns, and even the town hall which is existed on the town plan. So some small city from England and some small city from Poland, which we are looking at. What is a multifocal town? Now there is this thing which is called as a multifocal town. So multifocal town easily explains us that these towns, inside these towns, we had multiple focal points for gathering. So a church, a market, there's a open ground or a great bath. There's a cathedral on the other side. So a city started to plan off grids. Okay, and they started keeping multifocal activities in the whole cities itself. I'm having tea. Excuse me. Whole cities itself, which was like existing. Um, these multifocal points catered to the connection of roads and they catered to the connection of how people were taking a walk inside that particular town and stuff like that. So what happens is when you can like how it's explained in the I think in the next slides which we can see like how it says in the Da Vinci Code, there was a viewpoint or a perspective which was always connecting a particular open area and a monumental structure in this particular town. Now, these guys only started it, the so-called multifocal towns. So you can see a monument from where you stand and things like that. How today's Paris exists. Okay, so these guys were giving the idea for them to start over things like this. There's something called as the walled town. Now, the walled town, yeah, the last two, the walled town is very interesting because if you can see on the top left hand side picture, that particular square which is kept there, this is the Roman city. Okay, this is the Roman city, and inside was where the mostly the important places, the cathedral, stuff like that. It's the cathedral, the residential housing, and the housing for soldiers, and everything was kept there inside the particular Roman city, which had a wall. That wall was built very previously, okay, in the 6th or 5th century centuries. And then what happened is, if you see these dotted lines, this wall came out in the 11th century, where mostly, if you can see, most of the palaces and the castles in Britain were getting into or pulled into war during the 11th century AD because of some of the very greatest kings who were there. Okay, now that was the issue. Now, this is a walled town which had walls around it. Okay. The last one is a bridge town. Now, this particular idea of a bridge town is nothing but two towns are kept on each side of a river and they were connected by a bridge. Now, that is how a trade was happening. And this was coming out in the 13th century. This kind of planning. So, if you can see, that's how the planning was trying to evolve in these five types. You can keep these five types noted. Okay.